Okay, yeah,
Okay,
it says live.
we're live, guys. And I am trying to see if I see a link anywhere so we can put it on our other platforms, and I don't, so I'm not going to worry about it tonight. I am kind of curious to see what we look like on X before we hop in.
Okay.
Go to your X account and see. Oh, it says Christopher Webb is live.
Oh yeah, I'll go to my X and see. Yeah.
And see what you see. Okay. In the meantime, so I thought today's our first day. Are you see your live thing too? Okay,
I
cool.
saw that. I'm like, look at this.
So I am gonna. I thought we could chat about Trump's decline. What's clearly happening here, and
oh my god.
I want to play this first video here.
Yeah.
Fatigue. Trump faces realities of aging in office is the page headline.
How about that? Yeah, not sitting well with the president.
The Times analysis shows that his official daily schedule starts on average at 12:08 p.m. compared to 10:31 a.m. during his first term in 2017. And his official appearances have decreased by 39%. They highlighted this moment when he appeared to doze on and off during an Oval Office press conference as an example of flagging energy levels. Trump is hitting back on social media, and he got personal. The writer of the story, Katie Rogers, is a third-rate reporter who is ugly both inside and out. I have never worked so hard in my life.
All right, so I think the first thing when I saw that, or when I saw the New York Times piece that I thought was great, is they're finally hitting him on what we're all seeing. So that was great. I mean, I don't know if you saw that article in the New York Times. He obviously saw it and flipped out.
Yeah.
And then we've been seeing him call reporters names, only female reporters, mind you. Names just kind of random, and we know that's kind of a sign of dementia, or one of the, I guess it's not going to, he's always been that way, but it makes it a little more intense, I think.
Sure.
What are you thinking?
I think that somebody mentioned that one of the signs of dementia is using inappropriate language, like the way he just used the R word slur at Tim Walz. And because I had posted that screenshot of the Truth Social post, and I was like, oh, so now we're at the using random slurs phase of the, decline. And somebody said, actually, that's a hallmark of dementia. And then I remembered that, in fact, my grandmother had used some problematic phrasing, like somewhere in the middle, before she lost like our names and before she lost all of her memory, where she would have these like bad episodes, like the sundowning moments. And I was like, that's right. Like, I've fully forgotten that. So I'm not saying he wouldn't normally use that terminology, but I am saying that he normally would not do it public facing, right? Like, not in a public way. So it's like all of his filters are falling off at this point.
Yeah. I mean, here's another one. The first one I think we saw was
Quiet.
Yeah.
And then it was this.
To release the Epstein files. Why not just do it now?
It's not the question that I mind, it's your attitude. I think you are a terrible reporter.
And we've seen him say stuff like that, before to reporters like April Ryan, that kind of thing. But this was the latest one. I think this was
Biden administration
because
for
they
what
let
this
him
man
in.
did.
Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person? Because they came on a plane along with thousands of other people that shouldn't be here, and you're just asking questions because you're a stupid person.
Listen, the restraint that they show, because I would have the way that I would have immediately been like, are you? Because it seems like it. Like, I would never have been able to keep my tongue in that situation. I just wouldn't. I would have no job, and I would be in some jail, Guantanamo maybe. I don't know. Surely. Because he's obviously hell-bent on revenge too. So it's like, this is why I think a lot of the press pool are afraid to say anything. But it does seem like he is out of control in a way that we haven't seen before. It's concerning. I mean, it's been concerning, but it's like deeply concerning now, because at what point, what happens when he does this with a foreign leader? Like right? Like this man has the nuclear codes. Like what?
Yeah. I also think it's I think it's shocking. So I think maybe that's part of it. Like, because the other reporters aren't defending these women. They're not like jumping in. And even if you're the target of it, I do think you're kind of like, yeah, you could go off, but you're also like, what did he just say? Like that's
I really think they're all afraid. They're all afraid that he's gonna sue their agency, or that like they're gonna lose their jobs, or he's coming after them personally. I think everybody's it's not like the courts have consistently ruled in his favor even, but it's just the idea that the threat of the spotlight on you.
Settling.
Right, exactly.
Court, these huge lawsuits. But I think, hopefully we get to the point where these reporters, okay, I'm going to ask a question that he may not agree with. They're ready with the comeback because, and even, it doesn't even have to be like super harsh, but they shouldn't just be silent there. And I feel like another reporter should jump in after and, well, you didn't answer the question, Mr. President, or
just ask the same question in a different way. And like, that's the thing is like, you don't have to get mad and fall for the rage bait. Just make him look unhinged. It's not hard. Like that, if you keep that up and he does that for more than just one or two sentences, then he really does look to the average person. I mean, that's a lot of crazy in a president right there. So I think it's just a question of them being persistent, right? As opposed to necessarily a fierce comeback. They just need a comeback, like just a response of, okay, so do you think, like, just phrase it differently. I don't even know. Would he even pick up on that? Like, I'm not sure if he'd probably answer
I think
it,
he would get, I think the way he's been, he'd get progressively more angry.
That's what I would think. But then I'd also think like at some point he might actually just answer it.
Or maybe he would have a coronary or something, which
on camera. Then
on
there's
camera,
no doubt. We've said has to be on camera.
Yeah, that's what exactly. I was just gonna say that's what needs to happen if it's gonna happen. And then
live.
Live. And then this freaked me out yesterday.
I haven't thought about it yet, but
let me back
plan to attend Sarah's funeral.
I haven't thought about it.
Oh, so just to set this up for everybody, what was her last name? The National Guard. Her first name's Sarah, and I can't remember her last name.
Brockman.
Yeah, she died yesterday, and this reporter asked him a question about going to the funeral, and his answer was stunning to me. Just like, have you no home training?
Do you plan to attend Sarah's funeral?
I haven't thought about it yet, but it certainly is something I could conceive of. I love West Virginia. You know, I won West Virginia by one of the biggest margins of any president anywhere. And it's, these are great people. I love the people of West Virginia. I love the people of our country. But I haven't given it any thought, but it sounds like something I could do, yeah.
So he goes straight into his poll or his margin of victory, or that West Virginia. I mean, apparently she's from West Virginia. I don't know, but it also comes across like if she were from California, he wouldn't be going.
Right.
He wouldn't consider going.
Like, thank God she's from West Virginia.
Yeah.
A state where he fared well in, because then he might attend her funeral. I mean, everything about it. I hate everything about it. I think they know that the people who do love him, there aren't as many now, but the ones that do, they will point to this as a positive trait. They will, and they did when he used the R word slur as well, because I've seen them in the comments. Now, some of them are bots, but some of them are actually people, and their response is, hey, like, he says what's on his mind, and it may not always be perfect, but at least we know he's being honest, which is the irony of that, is that he rarely is being honest. But when he has these moments where he's being incredibly rude or disrespectful or just completely like uncouth and like not worthy of the presidency,
Unhinged.
His fans think, well, that's great because he's being honest. And that's what we love about him. And that's terrifying. But but it's like they're not worried about losing their core people because they know that that's attractive to them. Now, why they're not worried about the swing voters and everybody in the middle and everybody else that has good sense that outnumbers that core group, I don't know. They've just said, well, maybe people won't notice that he's in such a cognitive decline. I don't know.
Do you think his core supporters see that? Do you think, I mean, I know they're not admitting it, but do you think they...
Well, no, I don't. I think, well, they might notice it, but I'm not so sure that they think about it as a cognitive decline. They may just be confused about it because like I've seen people in my Facebook posts that respond to certain policies or things that he's done or statements he's made. And they've just said, can someone explain this to me? Like, I don't understand. So they might trip over it for a second, but I don't think they're not going to the same place we are. They're not putting one and one together and getting dementia. Like they're not seeing that. They're just like, oh, something there, he must be planning something that we don't know about, or, like there must be a reason for this. Surely they're looking for some legitimacy because again, like it's a cult and deconstructing from cults is difficult. And he is their charismatic cult leader. And they aren't just going to take our word for it when we say, hey, this man is unwell. Like he may have some characteristics that I personally don't agree with and that I think are very, not fitting for someone that is in the office of the presidency. But even aside from that, this is a next level illness. Like this is someone who's unwell at this point and can't meet the demands of the office, as you just showed in that clip earlier, talking about his schedule, the days off that he's had to take. And we know that he's had to go in for medical procedures and he might be spending them as like, intelligence tests or whatever he's calling them. But like we talked in our previous live, standard MRIs are not standard and repeat MRIs are not standard. So there's something going on.
So the other thing, I posted earlier about Tim Walz, and my response is like, release the MRI. If there's nothing
that's what
wrong
Tim
with you,
said. Yeah.
Yeah. So we
release the MRI.
I don't think I have that queued up, but yeah. But do you think, so I guess I'm thinking like these comebacks with these reporters, or how he loses it with the reporters at Miss Piggy, you're a terrible reporter. Are you stupid? It's been happening very often. I feel like it's happened like that's all been within, I think, 7 days.
Oh, it's incrementally, it's increasing incrementally. It's disturbing the rate that it is increasing. And I, like you, feel like, okay, well, we're dealing with reporters right now, but what comes next, right? Like, and by the way, who is stopping him? Do we have, like, I know there's been talk online of him having a caregiver or whatever, but do we have somebody that's going to prevent him from starting war with a random country? Like, do we have someone that's going to step in if he starts to behave this way inappropriately and antagonistically with someone that he shouldn't? Like, because the press, okay, what can the press really do?
I don't think they can stop him from going into war. Like, I don't think there's one person. I think he needs his close advisors. And I mean, what's happening with Venezuela right now? Like he's. I mean,
I think the answer is the close advisors want that to happen. I think is the problem.
Yeah.
Right. Like this is where we're at, is that the close advisors are helping orchestrate this, and he's the puppet. And the puppet, while the puppet might be having significant cognitive decline, they're going to ride that into the sunset of war or whatever profits their agenda. And in this case, I think we've seen primarily it's that evangelical, like they want the women married and at home with babies. And war is profitable for all of their stakeholders. So, it seems like everything in terms of Project 2025 is falling right into place. What we have like 40% done, and we're not even done with the year of the whole, is it right? Yeah. He got 67% of Project 20, was it 2018? What was it? Project 2018? What? 2017? I don't know. Whatever. The one from his first term, he completed 67% in 4 years. So he's already to 40% and we haven't even hit a year, or 39%, I think is like the actual number, but I've heard 41 or 39. So he's almost halfway through Project 2025 in 1 year. And that's concerning given what we know is in the full Project 2025. I don't know if you read the bulk of it, you know.
So he's tanking in a lot of, I don't have a bunch of polls
And that
here.
approval is down to
this
36
one,
now. It's down to 36
okay.
now.
And this is
Today I
probably
saw.
a week old. So
Yeah,
this is a
right,
week
right.
old.
So
So he's dropping fast.
right.
So even if his core followers don't see this, most of the country does. And
Yes.
it's not just him acting like a nut job. It's the fact that he isn't doing anything he promised. Even with the border, the deportations, he's not, the people that voted for that, most of the people that voted for that, the people that actually helped him win, do not like what's happening. They do not
That's
like
right.
him sending military into states, the National Guard, actually acting as police, enforcement agencies,
Right.
and like everyone's saying, like people are saying he's violating the Posse Comitatus Act, and he is.
Yeah.
And he would. So the other day, so after the shootings, and now it's one murder, he is ramping up. What is he adding? 500 more National Guard?
Yes. Well, and I saw that South Carolina is sending some. So I don't know if they're a part of that number or not. But I saw the governor of South Carolina say that he was intending to send more.
And what is the reason? I
don't know.
Doesn't make any sense.
I mean, the bots that are in my comments are trying to insist that DC is crime ridden, and I live here, so I can tell you that it's not. So I can tell you that in fact it's safer than it has been. It's consistently gotten safer. So this idea that it's that he's doing anything other than political theater is nonsense, and it's sad because his political theater caused someone to die. And I was really sad about that yesterday. Like I had a little moment where I should not have looked at my phone on Thanksgiving. And like I saw the story that said that the dad said she had a mortal wound and she wasn't going to recover. So before the news had announced that she had passed, but that she was going to. And then we found out she was 20 years old and she'd only been in for a few months and like 3 months, I think. And I was like, she shouldn't have been there. They shouldn't have been there. She shouldn't have been there. And there's no reason that this needed to happen. And the response from him is even more like infuriating because he's so wildly cavalier with our military, and which is just the greatest to me of betrayals. Because that is that's one of the things. I mean, we know that the president wears a lot of different hats, but the commander in chief is one of the greatest and what America has been so proud of in terms of their military. And this man is just using them as political theater props. Like they're not real people with real lives who have, by the way, put their lives in the hands of this country and said, we will sacrifice our lives for the welfare of your welfare. This wasn't about our welfare. This was about him flexing his muscles and measuring, like, I can't say it. I don't know. Am I allowed to say profanity on this one? Do I get, or does, what happens? Because we're going to X.
I don't think StreamYard is monitoring, and X doesn't care. I don't know about YouTube.
No, it's like some sort of dick measuring contest that he's having. And I just feel like it's enough. Like, because this was just this young girl who had her whole life in front of her and she's gone. And her family doesn't get her for Thanksgiving and they don't get her for Christmas or any Christmas to come because this man was just like, oh, let's just send some troops there. Like they don't have anything better to do. Like it's madness. And I feel like most veterans at this point are really angry. I'm not going to speak for them, but the ones that are in my comments seem to be. And yes, I see some every so often that are still very beholden to Trump. But overall, if it were me, I would be livid. And I sure as hell tell you right now, I wouldn't let my kids be joining the military. I'm going to tell you right now, like that would be the last thing I would want them to do.
None of the National Guard signed up to be a political pawn. That is not what they signed up for, and I'm sure that extends to the rest of the armed forces. Let me play this
National
clip.
Guard deployment in the city was illegal.
Reporter John Gonzalez with us live this morning to talk about what is next for the district.
This ruling from U.S. District Court Judge Gia Cobb comes after D.C. filed a lawsuit against President Donald Trump, arguing that the continued presence, the continued deployment of National Guard in the district is a federal violation. So for now, this injunction blocks the president from deploying or requesting any Guard members to the district, but the order is stayed for 21 days, which means the troops currently in the city will remain through at least mid-December.
So they shouldn't have been there in the first place.
No, and I think they're
there was a
banking on the
judgment.
Supreme. Yeah, I think they're banking on the Supreme Court coming in and reversing some decisions. I think they're going to end up with permissions, I guess. So you know how they just casually ignore lower judges.
Yeah,
and
but
Supreme Court judges, hell, they probably ignore them too. Like whatever.
With the Supreme Court, there hasn't been a comprehensive judgment. They've just gone ahead and said, okay, for now, but they don't ever give an explanation. Like I would like if they do rule in his favor, even temporarily, I feel like we're owed an explanation here. Like, why is it okay that he is doing this? He is using the National Guard as law enforcement, which is, a violation of the Posse Comitatus Act, and it's in the Constitution, and blah blah blah. So, I've said it before, I'll say it again. This is the luckiest man alive, I tell you. And he's also willing to break the law quite openly, which our previous presidents, you could say what you want to about like going into war, illegally, George Bush, that kind of thing, but he wasn't. They at least tried to okey doke us.
Yes, right.
He's just straight up saying it.
Before we came on here, I saw what Pete Hegseth had tweeted today, and which is a war crime, like because essentially he's admitted that they are killing people, that the attack that they made, that there were 2 survivors that were then not a threat, right? And that the US could have intercepted them, but he gave the call to just kill everyone. That's not allowed. And he's like on the internet acknowledging that. He's like, Biden was soft, but we're going to kill everybody. Like he just straight up says, like, we're going to hold on. Let's see if I have the tweet right in front of me that he posted. Cause I was like, he's just admitting it. Like he's just straight up saying it out loud. And I was like, oh yeah. So he posted it a few hours ago. And the quote is, Biden coddled terrorists. We kill them. Like just straight up, we kill them. And like, we've just decided that these people are, the people that were in the Caribbean. Which way is it?
So I say Caribbean, but I think if you're from the Caribbean, you say Caribbean. But here's the thing. How many attacks I think it's at least six boats that one was like supposedly a submarine.
Right.
So I feel like Congress has totally abdicated, and it's Republicans have totally abdicated their say-so in this. Like this is not an emergency. Like it's one thing to attack a country if you're in defense of the United States, but this is repetitive attacks on maybe civilians, maybe not.
Right.
The Congress isn't doing anything. So this is one of the things that when I do believe we will flip the House, when we flip the House, hopefully we flip the Senate, that they take back control and do not allow this. Because this is insane that this keeps happening and he's not answering to anyone. No one.
Did you hear him say, I think it was Venezuela, that he was talking about the US Venezuela border, and we were all like, what border? Like what? Like what do they mean? Like, and people were drawing all these maps trying to like make the border happen.
I missed that one.
It was like last week, and I'm like, what is happening? So it's like there's no imminent threat. there's no, and I mean, that's part of the problem is, right, they're drawing conclusions about what they perceive. So they're like, oh, all of these like drug cartel members that are coming in, they are an imminent threat, you know? And it's like, that's not how imminent threats work. Like, they are taking basic vocabulary, government terms that we all come to know and understand, and they're pushing the line, and they're trying to push the envelope to have a new definition. This is like what they've done with like Roe v. Wade as well, right? Like, they'll try to take things that are established law or understandings of that, and they'll push it, and then they'll try to get the courts to come in and like carve out more executive power and authority from the Constitution. This is a problem because we already have it set in such a way that Congress is supposed to be the balancing factor, and they're not doing their job. So not only is he trying to carve out more powers for the executive branch that aren't designed to be there by virtue of the Constitution, but on top of that, the one branch that's supposed to be balancing that, they're not even doing their job. So already he's gotten too much power and authority unlawfully, but also because the other people that are supposed to be policing him aren't doing that, which is concerning. And we know that people have the power in Congress to do a lot of influencing, right? So even if they can't do things on the floor of Congress, they can influence public opinion, and it's just like radio silent from every Republican, and it's concerning. Except for today, I did see, and let me see if I screenshot the. We heard from one Republican who is now voting against Trump's redistricting act because of his comments, the R word slur that he made. He has a daughter or a granddaughter with Down syndrome, and he said, "All right, that's it."
Who that was?
I'm looking it up to see if I screenshot it. It was like, someone was like, about time. I mean,
but you know, the right uses the R word. So, I mean, they certainly use it in my replies.
They do.
I've called the R word like all the time. So, you know, what took him so long, I guess, is what I'm wondering.
That's what everybody said. They're like, hey, friend, well, now it's a problem for you, but I don't know what to say about that, because it's like, I guess it's better than nothing, right? Like, better than not. But I tweeted, I was like, listen, if you had asked me in 2015 if I would have all these Republicans in my comments justifying his use of the R word slur as patriotic, I would have said, obviously, like, and then I posted the screenshot of him mocking the disabled reporter, and I'm like, this is who he is and who he's always been. And while he might be dropping his filters because of an illness or whatever, this is clearly who he's comfortable with, and this is why a lot of people flock to him. And this goes back to what I was saying in our last live, which is, I think it's time that we stop pretending like this is just a bunch of ignorant people that have different, or people that have different like policy values or whatever. These are people who want to be racist and mock disabled people. These are people who use the R word. These are people who were comfortable living like that, and they want to return to that. Now, that's not a majority of Americans, but the small cult of MAGA, you know, to say that they're not aware and comfortable of that, they are. He gives them permission to be who they want to be without being shamed by society, because he's doing it, right? And it's like, so now the president's saying the R word, so we can say the R word. This is not surprising to me that this is happening, but it is infuriating that it's 10 years later and here we are doing this.
So with the Venezuela situation, I haven't heard it in a while, but I think they were trying to say it was because of fentanyl, which fentanyl isn't even piped in through Venezuela. What are they saying now? Have you heard anything else? Like,
no,
the fentanyl
I didn't read the article.
From Mexico.
Yeah.
So
I didn't read
I just don't understand how they're justifying. They keep saying cartel, but I don't really see how they're justifying what they're even, or how they're even trying to justify what they're doing.
Yeah, the Pete Hegseth's comment was long, and it was lethal kinetic strikes to stop lethal drugs, destroy narco boats, and kill the narco terrorists who are poisoning the American people. So, and of course now they're tying it back to Afghans. That's a very specific word choice, because the shooter obviously had asylum And he was Afghan. He was granted asylum under the Trump administration in April this year. So, I mean, now it's like, oh, a liberal judge did that. Like, so again, like no accountability for Trump at all. But yeah, I don't see.
Also, there's reporting that he had CIA credentials. So he wasn't a citizen, but he was here legally. He was granted asylum, like you said, but he had also been helping the CIA. And Trump is not acknowledging that. He's denying everything. So yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, he doesn't give me any. Hegseth and this is not giving us any like specifics, just saying that it's lawful. So just like if I say it, then it must be true kind of thing. Like there's no justifications. I mean, it really is to me, and I've said this like for the longest time, to me, it's really like little kids that like put their hands in front of their face and they're like, you can't see me. And they're so sure that you can't see them. Like they are just so sure. And it's like, that's what the Trump administration does. Is they just say, we're not breaking the law. It's fine. Everything's fine. And you're just like, everything is on fire. And you're like, it is absolutely not fine. It's like him saying, oh, your Thanksgiving meals were cheaper. And then you've got MAGA actually in here with receipts, with actual receipts from a year ago. And their groceries have gone up, like from maybe $2.60 to $3.25 or something or whatever. And it's like, Mr. President, I didn't vote for this. Like, well, this is exactly what you voted for because this was their plan. But even his supporters see that things have gone up. They're just like, oh, it's just going to go up before it goes down. Like there's a justification for everything. And it's alarming. How little sense it makes.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, this threat of bringing in 500 National Guard into DC, that either goes away or gets scaled way back because he has made a lot of other. Remember, at first he was threatening to go into Chicago. Then he was like, "Oh, never mind." Then he was like, "Oh, yes, we're coming." It's they don't even have plans when they say this shit.
No,
it's just
they don't.
Like,
it was like the East Wing of the White House. I still don't think that was a plan. Like, I really think that was like, he saw that protest and was so upset at the No Kings turnout. And he's like, yeah, let me just knock some shit down. I think we're going to find, if Congress, like you said, ever gets off their asses, I think we're going to find that there were no requisitions made. Like, there's no RFP process for that. Like, he's just, oh, I've got some money that people are going to pay me and I'll pay for it. Like, IOU.
Which are pledges. They're not actual. He hasn't actually gotten the money.
That's what I mean. There's no POs. Like, there's nothing. Like, there's not going to be there's not going to be a paper trail. It's literally going to be like he called somebody with a backhoe and had to show up and like knock stuff down. It's awful.
Well, and here's the other thing. It's torn down. So it is what it is. But are there any permits whatsoever? He has these as far as building something to replace it?
No.
I don't think so. I haven't heard about any. There hasn't been any reporting on permits for this. And first of all, I don't think there's going to be a permit for him to build the size of the ballroom that he's talking about. If he gets permits, it's going to be scaled way down. And this is something you would plan for in advance, and he didn't. So I don't know. I have something I could say, but it's very vile, so I won't. Well, we wanted to do our first live stream on X and YouTube, I guess. And we said about 30 minutes. So we're going to try this regularly, and we'll come up with a date and time. But this is sort of a test, and there are some glitches here. Like, I can't figure out how to make
I'm in the dark, for instance. I don't know if anybody has noticed. I'm in the dark because I have no electricity because I've somehow blown 2 outlets, and I have to investigate that because it happened midstream. So don't worry about it. It's fine. Oh, by the way, Michael Bohasic is the Republican senator that is refusing to vote. And he's in Indiana, I believe. Yeah, he's a state senator in Indiana. So he said he will vote against that proposed congressional redistricting plan.
So I feel like we're seeing these little bits of senators or congressmen, people in Congress, kind of like defying the president.
But I think they're waiting for like what they perceive as very justifiable ways to speak out. So like in his situation, the fact that he says that he says those of you who don't know me, my family may not know that my daughter has Down syndrome, and this is not the first time our president has used insulting and derogatory references to his choices of words have consequences. So like he's very clearly laying the framework out for his defense. He's like I have a daughter, she has Down syndrome. You've done this before. It's not acceptable. So it's not like it's just I defy the president. It's that the president did something that's not acceptable and it's pushed me too far, and you can all understand because it involves my family or whatever. To me, that's a very like most people would read that and be like, well, yeah, obviously, like you're defending your daughter, whatever. This isn't people just being like the president is anti-democratic, the president is taking power like Hitler or something. They're doing it in ways that are very calculating, but like look very mild and right. Like it's like, oh, that's reasonable. So I think, like you said, it's going to be this trickle. And I think we've talked about this in our calls, that it will be this kind of trickle until all of a sudden it's a storm, right? Like it's going to be little bits of people here and there doing things like this, responding to what he's done in a way that feels very in line with the moment, like very like proportionate to what has happened.
It will happen.
And then all of a sudden, yeah.
It will happen as we get closer to them losing their seats. They'll be 100%. Panicking, and they'll have to distance themselves from Trump, and they will. And I love the fact that Johnson is panicking. Here we are talking more. Johnson is kind of panicking because people are his members are retiring, and there's more that are actually considering retiring before the midterm. So he could actually lose his position as speaker before the midterm. So we have to do a whole talk about that.
That is a big deal, and that really could. When people say, oh, there's no hope, absolutely there is. You pull people like Mike Johnson out of power and you do something with that, that could really turn the tide. Like that's a significant thing. And that's another way to kind of like show defiance without actually showing defiance is the retiring early piece, or like retiring like not running as an incumbent or whatever. That's forfeiting a lot of power that your party has. Like the Marjorie Taylor Greens of the world doing things like that quietly. She wasn't quiet, but other people that aren't like Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's, I mean, everybody has opinions, but I've said she's rebranding. I've said that for a while. So she's not surprising to me. Well, I don't know if she'll run for president or what she's going to do, but she's absolutely rebranding. And she saw the writing on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
She was inflammatory to win her seat and did what needed to be done to stay popular there. And now that she wants to maybe do either something on a network or like be more palatable for the country at large, she's going to hold more moderate views. And that's why we've seen her flip on some positions, or just be more vocal about some of the positions she already agreed with before, but wasn't really like super loud about. So anyway, like she's not going away anytime soon. Sorry.
No, she's not.
Sorry to let everybody know.
No, we got on a roll there. All right, everybody. Well, Casey, thank you. It's good chatting with you.
Thank you.
And hope everybody that tuned in had a great Thanksgiving, and the weekend continues.
Yeah. Oh, do we have a call on Sunday? Do we have a call on Sunday?
Oh, no,
okay.
No, we don't. No.
We don't. I thought we canceled it, right? Okay.
Yeah, we did cancel it.
Okay. All right. Bye, everybody.
All right, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.